Prabhupada was once asked, what are devotees going to do when World War III comes? And although this is what Prabhupada says, I've not been able to find it on the database. It'd be interesting to get some correlations, reaffirmations. Their bead bags will go one way and they'll go the other. The fact is that I remember before I was devotee, I didn't read too much of it, but I read a little of it. Carlos Castaneda, who was quite popular in the occult section of the hippie movement. Not all the hippies were into occult, certainly, but some were. And of the occultists that were hippies, Carlos Castaneda was quite popular. Don Juan, Yaqui knowledge and that kind of thing. One thing I remember from it is he said there's two paths. There's the path with heart and the path without heart. And he clarified it a little more, that the path with heart means courage. There's no real advancement in Krishna consciousness without taking the path of courage. Passing the tests entails taking the path of courage. So devotees that are hanging on, doing some sadhana and service and that, but they're not manifesting real courage. It's better than not being a devotee, but when things get real tough, when there's a crisis, or when there's a test that they need to come and really show their affiliation with Prabhupada and with his devotees, they won't do it. That's the main lesson I learned from that incident that you're talking about. There is no solution except if devotees take the path of courage. If they don't take the path of courage, you can't get a solution out of that.
And would you say that Prabhupada wanted his followers to take the path of courage?
Prabhupada's movement was based on constantly confronting the non-devotee element. And that takes courage. In the slang or vulgar term, it takes guts. Your advancement was based on your courage to undertake tapasya, to confront, to undertake courageous activities that were painful physically. All these things involve courage, and devotees were predominantly dressed in orange, which is the color of Mars. Mars is the planet of courage, and the Sringadeva is the protector of the devotees. Prabhupada's movement was very oriented towards constant courageous activities.
And so again, that the absence of that indicates the absence of connection to.
It indicates, I like this other way. And since there's a number of other people that like the other way too, I think I'll do the other way. That's what it indicates.
The other way meaning?
The way, the path that Don Juan described didn't have courage to it.
So would you say that would be another way of classifying party men, is that they take the...
Yes, I consider the party men to ultimately be cowards.
Is there any redemption for a party man?
It's better that he's chanting than not. But redemption is too big of a word.
We're running close to the end of the tape, so we can just kind of, I think we may have 3-4 minutes, so we can just kind of thrown some little bits and pieces. That was very good about the path of courage. How can a devotee be on that path of courage in the present circumstances when the real movement has been...
Everything's based on thoughts. So if your thoughts go to the area of saying, you know what? I want reality. I want truth. I want fact. When you start thinking like that, then thoughts produce feelings. Or let us say feelings come when thoughts are present. And these feelings are either averse to the thought or favorable to the thought. And then the desire that's embedded or intrinsic to the thought, if it's favorable to the thought, comes to the fore. And you actually have then a desire. Once you put out a desire, then you're going to act on it, because desire means will. You will to do something. So if you have the desire to take the path of courage, due to thinking constantly about it, that you want to take it, then when you throw that desire out there, then Source, and the ultimate Source is personal, constantly around us, Paramatma, God immanent, but we'll say Source for now. Source says, oh, you want to take the path of courage? I'll make arrangements where we'll test you to see if you really want to. And if you pass the little tests, you get slightly bigger tests. And if you pass the slightly bigger tests, then you get tests that are pretty good. And you pass those, then you're going to get big tests. But remember, you're going to get big tests and big opportunities simultaneously. So it all starts with your thinking process. What are you really thinking about?
I think we've reached the end of the tape.